Outro, none of that. Won't need none of that. What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? How are you? What's happening? So this is a total informal video. We're not doing intro music. We're not doing outro music. We're just having a conversation today. And I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine. And I realized when I was talking to her, I shared something with her that I honestly had never shared with anybody before. Never. Thank you, honey. I had never shared with them. I'll be done in a minute. I'm doing a video. Okay. He's upset the tablet died. He can't play on it anymore. Okay, so and so I'm gonna share with you guys because I'm hoping, as usual, my vulnerability will help somebody. So Lord Jesus, I would just like to keep some of my stuff to myself, but I'm praying that it helps somebody. Okay. So I was talking to a friend and we were talking about this love that I have for the company Starbucks. In the whole history, you guys, of my love for Starbucks, there's only been one time that I got upset with them. Just one time. And they didn't even know it. But they resolved our relationship. But in any rate, so we're talking over 26 years ago. When I was in college, I went to school in a small town in Missouri. And I remember, and this is going to shock some of y'all. Some of you guys do not know this about me. Some of you guys may have if you've been following me for a while. But when I was a sophomore in college, I was in a really challenging emotional state. And that challenging emotional state caused me to become suicidal when I was in college, right? And I know some of you guys are like, what? But you're so happy. But I was not, right? So, and I remember once I was released from the hospital, because I actually took a bottle of pills, okay? So a whole bottle. Once I was released from the hospital, it was mandated that I had to go to therapy in order to continue going to school, okay? Go tell daddy, baby. Okay, go tell daddy for me. Thank you. It was mandated that I had to go to therapy, right? So I went to therapy, and it was on campus. We had a psychologist who worked on campus. So I went to counseling, and I went for several months. And at that time, I just wasn't open to what the counselor was sharing, because I remember feeling like, you're just really doing your job. You don't really know me that well. I don't think this is helping, like all those things. And so I finished what I was supposed to finish, but it didn't do what it was supposed to do because I wasn't open, right? So fast forward, I had a moment of clarity, and this is before I knew God. I did not know God at all. I was not saved, knew nothing really about Jesus, like none of that. But I had a moment of clarity when I was in my apartment one day, just a moment. And in that moment of clarity, I remember thinking, I was just a really happy teenager like a year ago. What the heck happened? Like, how did I get to this place? I was so confused. I just didn't understand. How did I get here? And I decided that day, I'm going to figure out what brings me genuine joy. Like, I'm going to figure this out. And I went on this crusade to figure out what really brings me genuine joy. And so while I'm still in this really small college town, y'all, it's a really tiny town, I discovered a bookstore in the town square. You know how really small country towns have bookstores? Go that way, babe. Have bookstores. Well, I decided to go into this bookstore. That was when I discovered Joyce Meyer. That's when I discovered, like, oh, I really love bookstores. And one day I was coming out of that bookstore and I saw the coffee shop next door. I had never seen this coffee shop before, ever. I had never seen it. Go ahead. And so you're going to have to turn it down, okay? Okay. I had never seen this coffee shop. So I go inside and immediately I was like in love. I was in love with the smell. I was in love with, like, there were a bunch of college students who were there, and some were in group studying. Some were just there enjoying themselves, having a good time. There was live. You can change it. So change it. Y'all, this is totally informal. My son wanted to let me know he did not like the last thing I was watching. And so some were studying, they had live entertainment, but they had fresh coffee beans. And before this point, all I knew was my parents purchased Folgers coffee and they brewed it at home. So I go in here and it's that smell. I finally buy some coffee. They brew, like they, what's the word? They took the coffee beans. I'm having a brain freeze here. So ground it. That was it. And I took my ground coffee beans, and from that moment on, I was just in love with this place. So I go there like almost every day. Then when I come home back to Chicago, there's no such place that exists. The only place that kind of existed was Starbucks. That was it. So I go, and I don't even remember which ones I went to because there wasn't one near my parents' house at the time. And that's how I fell in love with Starbucks. So I've done closed deals there, done homework there, studied there, read books, just done all the things. And that's how I fell in love with that place. But there's more to this story that's really important. It's not just about a love for Starbucks. What I discovered, right? So I had an interview with Starbucks last week, and I had a second interview with them this week. And this was the thing that was amazing. I realized that this is truly, if I need to go back into the workforce, if this is something that I'm going to do, I would love to be able to do it with my dream company. And I realized over the last year, it has been, at the time of this recording, guys, it is February the 2nd. A year ago is when my husband was diagnosed 1 year ago. This is when our world got shaken and we were just like, oh my God. And if you had told me a year later that I would have had any kind of joy, I wouldn't have believed you. Any kind of peace, I would not have believed you. You got to go talk to daddy. Okay, I'll get you something to eat. So, this last year has been really transformative and really introspective. And one of the things that I've learned over the last year is what happiness truly feels like for me. Hold on a second. Okay. Look at mommy. Look at mommy. Look at mommy. Come here. Go in the back with daddy. Thank you. That's not daddy. No, that's not daddy. You gonna do it quietly? All right, there we go then. Let's try it again. So people don't truly understand what makes them. I didn't know what made me happy. I'm going to tell you the depths of my unhappiness. Because I created these unrealistic standards of success and I didn't meet those standards that I created for myself, I have felt like a failure ever since I walked away from Truman State University in Missouri without a degree in my hand. I have felt like a failure all this time. And I remember when I decided to go back to school, somebody who I admired, they're like, oh, are you getting your master's degree? I was like, nah, I'm getting my bachelor's degree. He said, oh my God, I would have just assumed that you had all that. And that's what made me feel unsuccessful because I felt like I should have had all those things. The depth of my low confidence and my shame was so deep and so high that I didn't even go to my 25-year class reunion because I did not feel successful enough to go to my class reunion. And I set those unrealistic levels of expectation. And so my prayer, my hope for you sharing this is that you can truly take a step back from what you think success is supposed to look like and be introspective. What brings you genuine joy? I think one of the nastiest jobs on the planet is being a plumber. But what if you like being a plumber? What if you're like, I love plumbing. Does that mean that's not a noble profession and you are not successful if you're a plumber? No. And that's the problem. That's the challenge. So because somebody else thinks, oh, that's like a disgusting job, you will not do something that you want to do that you think is amazing because it doesn't look right to other people. Who was I trying to live up to? Who was I trying to impress? Obviously, it was somebody, and I don't even know who. It was all about how I looked on the outside to other people. It was all about, did I meet the level of success that other people actually thought I had? I think that's it. And so I want to encourage you to take a step back. It doesn't matter, what anybody else thinks. What brings you genuine joy? The last year has been so important for my family, because it's not about you. It's not about what people outside of our house thinks. It's really about, what do we want as a family? What brings us joy as a family? The people that are the most important to you, they could be here today and gone tomorrow. And because you were so focused on what everything looked like to everybody else, you didn't even spend the necessary time with them. And then you can't get that time back. What makes you happy? What moves your heart? That's what's most important. So that's my story for today, y'all. So what I'm gonna do really, really quick, okay? If you are watching, thanks, sis. Hey, if you are watching, it is February the 2nd. You guys, 9% of the year is already gone. A whole 9% is gone already. We got 91% of the year left. And so what I want you to do right now is forgive yourself for whatever promises you made to yourself in January that you did not keep. Forgive yourself for it. Let's move on, right? And let's start new and afresh now. If you are the person that's like, hey, I really, wait, what did Misan say? I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I pray I am. Sometimes we forfeit. Oh, that's so good. Oh my God. She says, sometimes we forfeit the fulfillment of our own lives because of the opinions of others. And the crazy part is, you guys, we don't realize we're doing it. And so I just want to share my story and be transparent with you. So it gives you permission to be honest with yourself. It's hard to admit that we care about what other people think. That's hard to admit, especially when you think you are uber strong, especially when you think you are super confident. It's very difficult to admit that you care about what other people think. But I promise you, if you haven't done some of the things that bring you joy, it's because, and you can use every excuse in the world. Oh, it's because now it's not the right time. It's because of this. It's because typically you care about what other people think about the decisions that you make for you and for your family, right? And if we could let that go, we would feel so much more fulfilled, right? So for those of you out there, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you about Christian Founders Academy. You guys, I'm so grateful. I say this often, that God chose me to be the face of this company. I'm so grateful. And what we do is we literally help you create your service-based business, and we help you create a business around it, or your ideal service, right? And create a business around it. So many times people, they're so multi-talented and they want to start a business, whether it's on the side of what you currently do, whether you want it to be your main thing, whatever it is, you want to start something, but you're so multi-talented that you don't know what to do. So people do one of two things. They usually do everything. They open their code over here. I sell this, I sell this, I sell this. Oh, you don't need that. They open the other side. Or they do nothing. And the reality is, all of it results in little profit and little purpose. What if you could operate in your God-given zone of genius? What if you had a God-given competitive advantage? The reality is you do. And we help you figure out what that is in Christian Founders Academy, and we help you extract it and actually create a service and build a business around it. Okay. And so you see it on the screen. You can check out Christian Founders Academy at academy.damitamcgee.com. You can do it in the privacy of your own home. Nobody knows you're looking. All right. So once again, I know we don't want to admit it, but we do care, what other people think. So nobody sees you. Check it out in the privacy of your own home. And then if you have questions, reach out to me directly. Y'all, I am literally an open book and I'm available to have conversations. My email address, let me see. I got a banner back here. I'm going to pop this up really quick. Sorry, you're doing all the work in the background. Go ahead. My email address is D McGee, at damitamcgee.com. I'm trying to find this thing on, I don't see it, y'all. I'm supposed to have this option on here. Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay. All right. So you guys should actually see the link right now for Christian Founders Academy, also on Facebook on my phone. But you can send me a message directly if you have any questions, and I will respond to you. I do get the privilege and the honor of working with Jamelia, but you will hear from me if you have a question. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever. But like I said, 91% of the year is left. Forgive yourself for not taking advantage of our very first 9%. Let's move on. Let's pick up from here, because there's still time for you to be as effective as you want to be and as amazing as you want to be. Oh, thank you so much, sis. Thank you, Tanisha. You guys, listen, I got an opportunity to interview Tanisha. If you can't see it right here, if you're looking at me on my phone, but on the computer, we have her comment up on the screen. And she's my very first client, and she is killing the game right now. And so if you'd like to hear more about her story, you can go back and look at a video that we just did a few days ago on January the 31st. It is on YouTube, and it is also, of course, on Facebook. So thank you guys for hanging out. I pray that my vulnerability helps you be more honest with yourself. I sincerely want to see you have more joy. I sincerely want to see you have more peace, and not worry about what the world thinks about you or what you do for your family, but do what is best for you. Hear me clearly. If you decide you want to be a business owner, that's great. If you decide that you want to stay in the workforce, that's great. If I ever made you feel some kind of way about deciding to stay as a 9-to-5 employee, I apologize right now. When you learn better, you do better. All right. You do what is best for your family. You do what is best for your situation, and you do what's best for you. And for some of us, it's entrepreneurship, but for some of us, it's intrapreneurship. Actually having those entrepreneurial gifts and using them at another organization that is not your own. All right. Y'all have an amazing rest of the day. Remember, check out the Christian Founders Academy. Let's throw that link up one more time, sis, in the background. Thank you so much. You can enroll. You can check it out. I'm going to even throw that banner across the bottom. Bam. There you go. And I'll see you guys next time. All right. I'm saying bye to y'all. Bye. My son is doing all the things in the back. It's real life around here. Y'all have a great one. I'll see you later. Peace out, y'all.